The F1 is the latest budget electric skateboard by Chinese manufacturer Verreal. Like the vast majority of Chinese e-skates, the F1 is built mostly from a collection of existing generic parts. Its remote and ESC are identical to those found in the popular Wago 2S. Its user-configurable battery options consist of the familiar Samsung, Panasonic, and Sanyo 10S 2P variants, and its 90mm hub motors are relatively standard, with one minor difference that we'll discuss later. But don't write this off as a useless imitation just yet, because the F1 brings some subtle yet refreshing innovations to the budget market. Unfortunately, during the filming of this video, we ran into some trouble. While riding along a local floating bridge, a rough section of pavement tossed the rider, and our F1 test unit rolled under the guardrail and into the lake.
Stop! The board's gone. Really? Where's the stealth?
Our bleak situation then took a major turn when it became evident that the rider had sustained a concussion, prompting a trip to the nearest ER. To be clear, we're not blaming Verreal for this incident. We were more focused on filming than riding responsibly, and the road surface was covered in dangerous obstacles. In any case, the incident left us banged up, lacking footage, and down a test unit. We'll start by examining straight line performance, and as one might suspect, there's not much new to report. Because the F1 shares its powertrain components with the previously benchmarked Wago 2S, our instrumented testing did not reveal a significant performance difference between the two boards. Both run the 5 to 15 mph benchmark in a modest 3.3 seconds and top out at a solid 23.6 mph. As you'll recall from our Wago review, we weren't floored by these numbers then, and our views haven't since changed. However, while this powertrain lacks pep, it remains the frontrunner of the budget segment thanks to its outstanding control precision and responsiveness. In contrast to competitors like the Meepo V2, which suffers from imprecise and jerky controls, the F1 responds to user input with confidence-inspiring precision and predictability, making this board vastly more capable both as a commuter tool and as an urban surfboard. Moving on, the F1 manages to differentiate itself with its unique deck, which is slightly dropped and aesthetically contoured. We found this design to be refreshingly different from those of the Wago, Meepo, and Onboard, and particularly fun for trail riding. There is one drawback, however, which is the relative rigidity. This deck's lack of flex, combined with the thin layer of urethane on the board's hub motors, can make rough terrain very unpleasant to ride over. The F1's trucks are identical to those on the Wago 2S, though the carving setup out of the box is looser and more responsive. Of course, this can be customized with replacement bushings and pivot cups, but for those unwilling to pick up a wrench, the board's versatile stock configuration might be appreciated. The hub motors used on the F1, like most others, allow the polyurethane sleeves to be replaced. However, unlike the design found on most other budget e-skates, these require different sleeves with the magnets attached. In theory, this shouldn't matter, but Verreal sells replacements at over double the cost of its competitors, which essentially defeats the purpose of this feature. That being said, in our experience, the urethane sleeves on these motors typically outlast the units themselves, rendering this a moot point, and the replacement hubs only cost about $70 per. So, in conclusion, the Verreal F1 isn't necessarily a game changer. In fact, the only new feature we found compelling is the dropped deck. The good news, however, is that it shares the remainder of its components with our previous favorite budget e-skate, the Wago 2S, and as a result, this may be the segment's new frontrunner. For those willing to trade flexibility for a lower ride height, the Verreal F1 is an excellent option. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our website skatemetrics.com to pit the Verreal F1 against its competitors with our virtual drag race utility, and to view interactive torque plots of the boards we've tested.